And a part of that election will be Danny Tarkanian running in CD3 against Susie Lee. Joining us on our City National Bank guest hotline, my friend Danny Tarkanian, who joins us. Danny, how you been? Are you busy this time of year?
I'm doing great, Kevin, and it's been very busy. In fact, it's more so than ever before. It's been amazing the kind of interest that's taken over not only my race, but I think the other races here in Nevada.
And the fact is that you're getting a lot of interest from media around the country. Am I right that this has become a national race, has it not?
Yeah, it's certainly become a national race. It's one of the top 2 or 3 races in the country where a Republican can flip the district from a Democrat to Republican district. So a lot of interest there, a lot of interest from the people in Washington, D.C., from the White House to the National Republican Congressional Committee, a lot of interest just from President Trump himself. I understand he's getting ready to make another visit here very soon, we hope. And we got a lot of people coming out for my campaign. We have Don Jr. is going to come out to Los Angeles and do an event for us. Very excited about all the interest there. In fact, we've had so much talking about local issues. We've had so much help and support and volunteers that we had to open up a second office just so that we can have enough room for everybody to make phone calls and coordinate our walks and everything.
Well, and I was so impressed. I was over there on Saturday in Summerlin at your new location, and you've got high school interns who are making calls for you. They are very, very savvy and very talented. You got to be proud of that operation.
I was very excited to have so many of them. Last election, we had about 10 or 12, and I said, this is really wonderful that they would, one, get involved in my race, a congressional race from last year. You had the big one with not only the president, but also the Senate. But we've got probably close to 50 interns helping us now, many of them from Gorman and Rancho High School, and it's just overwhelming the kind of support we're getting from them, and the volunteers. It's been great. The Southern Hills Republican Women's Group has been doing phone banking, either in the office or at one of the members' homes, and they've just been doing a great job, too.
I know you've been traversing Congressional District 3 with less than 8 weeks to go. Give me your sense. You've been around this political thing for a while. Give me your sense of where the electorate is.
Listen, I can't guess where the elections are going to turn out. I can tell you this, though. Our campaign has never been stronger, more organized, better run, have more interest and support than anyone I've ever been associated with. I hear the same thing from Senator Heller's office. They're just overwhelmed by the support they're getting. Same with Adam Laxalt. And I'll tell you the other thing. We got great Assembly candidates and Senate candidates that we're working with and doing a lot of walking and calling and so forth. It's been a very united front, and I think it's. Look, if it's going to be a close election, we have all the ingredients to make sure it comes our way.
You and I talked on air maybe 2-3 months ago, and one of the things I complained about is that I knew absolutely nothing about Susie Lee other than she was a rich woman, some say a philanthropist, and to this day, now 8 weeks in, I still don't know much about Susie Lee.
Yeah, they want it that way because they know that if you talk about her personally and her lack of success and anything besides giving away her husband's money, that she's going to lose this race. So what they do, and they do this all the time, they hide, they won't debate, and they don't want to take any positions or any issues. It's so funny. Early in the campaign, I don't know, it was like middle July, she's calling me out for debates and says, hey, will you debate us twice and demand I show up for town hall? And we didn't respond for a couple of weeks because, we're getting everything situated, and July is way too early to talk about it. Well, we've called her out on it now. We said, listen, we're going to do 3 debates and 3 town halls. We hope you'll join us. She's turned down one debate after another debate. She refuses to show up at town halls. The only debate we have scheduled right now is one with Channel 8 with the very liberal and in my opinion, very unethical reporter, Steve Sebelius, who's been taking shots at me for years now in his columns and his TV shows. And I have no problem appearing in front of him. I say the same thing all the time. I'll say the same thing in the debate with them. So I'll show up to that. But Susie Lee's turned down every other one out there, including one that was Vegas Voices for the seniors in the Clark County area. She first complained that one of the two moderators was a Republican that was too close to me, and then the person hosting the debate said, okay, well, we'll just let the Democrat moderator ask you questions. I told the guy hosting the debate, I'll take questions from both of them. It doesn't matter. Again, I say the same thing. It doesn't matter what mouth the questions come from. You're going to get the same responses. Anyways, even though she was going to have a Democrat moderator ask her every question, she turned it down. So I mean, that's why you don't know her, but I think it's intentional. They'll spend their time lying and attacking me. It's the same worn-out tactics the Democrat Party has used over years, but we feel very good we're going to overcome them.
By the way, did you really say demo rat?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
That's me with my slip of my tongue and talk too fast.
No.
I've been in this a long time, and I still have people say to me, you got to slow down.
It's okay.
And I do. I just get so excited and want to say so much.
Let me ask you, though. What does Susie Lee stand? I mean, let's talk about policy differences, yourself and Susie Lee. And is Susie Lee just kind of regurgitating the Nancy Pelosi talking points, the Chuck Schumer talking points?
Kevin, she won't take any positions. She says she wants a secure border, and then they say, well, do you want to build a fence? No. How are you going to secure it? She doesn't have an answer. She says we want to improve our school system. That's her big deal. She has ads out here saying she's been involved in improving the education for the young kids here in Nevada. And you look at it, we're last in the nation, our school system, and her programs have been a part of it, and they haven't helped. And so she doesn't give a solution except the same old things that have happened. You know, I'm in favor of paying teachers more and getting the best quality people into the classroom, and then having school choice where you have competition within the different education systems so they compete and the best ones are going to succeed. I'm in favor of securing the border, whether it's building a wall, putting more National Guards on the border, or using the high technology that we have that can stop people from coming in our country. She's against Donald Trump's economic plans, which is almost laughable and ludicrous and insane that you would. We have the greatest economic success story of my generation right now in virtually every single measurement, from the gross domestic product, which is twice as high as what it was over the 8 years of Obama, to the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years, to millions dropping off food stamps. And I support those policies. I'm going to vote for those policies. Susie Lee has made it clear that she's going to vote against those policies, raise our taxes, impose more regulations that are going to stifle businesses. And she's definitely, whatever she wants to say now, she'll be with Nancy Pelosi voting to impeach President Trump if she's in there.
I was just going to ask you, has she taken a position on impeachment?
Kevin, she hasn't taken a position on anything.
Wow.
That's why she doesn't debate. Now, when she debates, we'll see what the liberal moderator, Sebelius, will ask her. But when she debates, I'm going to at least bring up, where do you see it? How are you going to secure the borders if you don't want to at least have a partial fence? How are you going to improve the school system from what you've already done that's been failing? Those are the questions that we hope to get out of her in the one debate she's been able to do. Look, if she can run and hide, we're going to have 3 debates and 3 town halls, and if she's not there, that's fine. We're going to continue to talk to the voters and get our message out.
Again, joining us, Danny Tarkanian on our City National Bank guest hotline. He's running for Congress in Congressional District 3. Just so you know, we have a standing invitation to Susie Lee to join us. They have not taken us up on it as yet, and my guess is they won't take us up on it. Stick around. More to do as we continue. It is live and, I'm sorry. Hang on one second. I was going to take a break, and now I found out I don't have to take a break, which I think is just absolutely wonderful. Let me just ask you, the president and his America First policies, you embrace them. Susie Lee, does she want to reverse them? Does she want to reverse the tax cuts?
Oh, absolutely. She's absolutely against America First policies that President Trump has implemented. But she doesn't have an answer exactly what she'll do. Are we going to go back to the same stagnant growth that we had with President Obama in the 8 years? She can't run. She can't run against the policies that President Trump has implemented, because you see the results of them. It's just an economy that's off the charts. So what she's going to do is, again, hide, not take positions, and just use personal attacks to try to win this election. And we're very confident we're going to be able to overcome all that.
I want to ask you, we always talk about Democrats and Republicans, but in this particular race, it looks like independents are going to be real important. Do you know what the number or the percentage is of independents in CD3? Are there a lot?
Yeah. That's a great question. And what's happened? Yes, there is. It's about 24% right now. In the last election, it was 23%. Independents are growing at a higher percentage than any other of the groups out there, or the nonpartisan, I should say, that the third-party groups combined. They're growing at a higher rate than Republicans and Democrats, and they're going to make a bigger difference in who wins this election or not. And we certainly are getting our message out there. I believe the vast majority of independents are very happy with where the economy's at. They're happy with our national security. They're happy that we're trying to secure our borders. Some of them may not be happy with President Trump's rhetoric, but they're not going to be unhappy. They're not unhappy with his policies.
What do you make of the Bob Woodward book, the anonymous? I can't believe this. An anonymous editorial in the New York Times, and all seem to try and paint the same picture. The president is unhinged. The president is out of control. How do you react to that?
You look at Bob Woodward. He's been very outspoken and critical of the president. He's actually been very outspoken against most Republicans. If he had sources that were identified in the book, and those sources came out and said, yes, this is what I said, the book would have some credibility. But he uses a lot of anonymous sources, and he uses many sources he's identified as that are completely denying they made those statements. Now, look, if these sources made those statements, let's say John Kelly, let's say Kelly made those statements to him to put in the book, why would Kelly deny it now? Did Kelly know that these statements were going to be in the book and be used? Of course he knew that, so why would he be denying it now? I think the book lacks all credibility, and the way that you even see it worse is the anonymous source from the New York Times came out 2 days after the book was announced, and Woodward was taking his victory tour around the country talking about the book. So the anonymous source just I guess supplemented or added to the book and created more interest, and you can see this is all coordinated.
I want to ask you about the Mueller probe, because the Mueller probe, we were told originally, Rudy Giuliani suggested that they'd probably have it wrapped up by Labor Day. Well, Labor Day has come and gone. It is still hanging fire. Now we're starting to get reports that this thing may go on beyond the November 6th election. Do you worry that this thing continues to hang out there? We still don't find any Russian collusion on the part of the campaign, but do you worry that this thing's going to be stretched out to where it's going to impact races like yours?
No, I'm not. This has been going on since the time President Trump has been in office, just a few months afterwards. It's not going to affect the races, any of the races around the country right now. What it does do is it impedes President Trump's America First policies from being passed. You divert the attention that should be being focused on how to make us a bigger, a better, stronger country and help the people in our country more, make them more secure. Instead of focusing on that, we have so much time being spent on this Mueller probe. And the sad fact is, this is what happens in all special counsel investigations. There's no time limit. There's no limit of resources. They drag on, and they destroy presidencies. And very seldom do they come up with anything of substance.
You keep your ear to the ground. You talk to a lot of District 3 constituents, and I'm curious, what are the issues? Give me the top 3 issues that people really care about, that you hear about from voters every day when you're out on the stump.
They all care about the economy and being able to have not only a good job, but a job where they can move up and feel secure financially for their family. National security and the security of our country is a big issue for them, and that deals with immigration and securing our borders, not having sanctuary cities, supporting ICE. All these things Susie Lee is not in favor of. That's maybe the top issue in this district. And then the third one I hear all the time is education, the failing education system in our public school system here in Clark County. How can we improve that? And again, Susie Lee's position is let's keep doing the same thing that she's been a part of for 20 years that's continually failed. And my thing is, let's go to what's made our country so great. It's creating competition. And every time we create more competition, we get a better product at a lower cost. That's what school choice is. It creates more competition within our school system, but we're going to get a better product, and it's going to cost less to educate our children. And then put the money into the classroom. We passed the largest tax increase in state's history in 2014, and that money none of that money went to the teachers. The teachers are still one of the lowest paid around. They're certainly significantly lower paid than in California. Even though we raised taxes almost $1 billion for it, where did all that money go to? Why doesn't it go into the classroom where the kids are taught? Teachers, their assistants, the materials to make them to allow them to be better students. It's a misappropriation of where the money's at.
Danny, in our final minute, I want to ask you, because we're under 8 weeks to go until Election Day, what is it you still need? What kind of help do you want from voters in CD3?
If you want to volunteer, you can go to the website at tarknv.com. It's an exciting race. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'd love to have you. If you want to contribute, you can go to the same website. I will say, look out today. We're going to release our first commercial. I think it's a great commercial. It deals a lot with my family. It's got a little humor in it. I hope that the people that watch it really like it. I know we're very proud of it.
Hey, Danny, always good, man. We'll do it again. Thanks so much. Always appreciate it.
Thanks, Kevin. We'll talk to you later.
There you go. That's Danny Tarkanian running for Congress in CD3, Congressional District 3.